Today's video is sponsored by Unity. I'll take my timbers shivered, not stirred. Arrgh, ugly, it's me, Captain Bus Sparrow, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing the Sea Sickening Ball from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 6, in which our queens are challenged to serve 3 looks. Category 1, Bathing Beauties, Swimwear Eleganza. Category 2, Sea Creature Couture, looks inspired by colorful marine life. And Category 3, Sea Sickening Eleganza, high fashion couture created from upcycled marine debris. And we'll be going queen by queen to break down all 36 looks, but first, let's swim into some troubled waters and take a look at some drama from this week's episode involving Lexi, Arrietty, Onya, Nurve, and one Sabotage garment. So the setup for the big drama this episode is that all the queens are busy making their looks, some inside and some outside where there's some spray painting going on. And Lexi has apparently left her tarped garment outside on the sidewalk where other queens, not knowing it was her garment, have spray painted their own garments on top of hers, and result leaving outlines of brown and a lighter blue shade of spray paint on Lexi's garment. And upon discovering the sabotage of her look, Lexi charges into the workroom in tears and asks everyone there who did this. And in that instance, no one fesses up to the crime or even admits to being outside. And so Lexi gives up her pursuit here and heads back outside to check on her dress. But as soon as she leaves the workroom, Onya looks at the other girls there and goes, "So do y'all want to know what happened?" Where she then explains that she and Arrietty were spray painting their own garments on top of Lexi Love's garment, which they didn't realize was her garment. Their spray paint getting on Lexi's outfit was an honest mistake. Which, like, to be fair, would have been a really easy mistake to make, considering her garment was literally just a giant sheet of tarp. But it was nonetheless her outfit, and it did get sabotaged. And Jules kind of calls out Onya in this situation, saying, "Wow, first the trim, and now this." But after hearing what happened, all the girls understand it was just an accident, and tell Onya she should go outside and fess up and apologize for what happened. To which Onya just says, "I don't feel like now is the right time." And back outside, Lexi's still looking for the culprit, where she then presses Arrietty for more information. And after being pressed a bit, Arrietty does fess up that the light blue paint on her dress is hers, but the brown is not. And while Arrietty doesn't directly say who contributed the brown paint to Lexi's garment, Lexi does notice that there are brown outfit pieces laying out to dry on the sidewalk and puts the pieces together, realizing that it was Onya who spray painted part of her dress brown. Lexi then heads back inside, giving Onya a dirty look, but not saying anything. And Onya asks Lexi the question, "Lexi, did they explain to you what happened?" To which Lexi just says, "Yeah, it was you. It was your brown outfit." And Onya says, "It was me and Arrietty." To which Lexi replies, "Right, but I just sat here and asked you, and you put your back to me and ignored me while I was talking." We then go back and forth with Onya explaining how she didn't feel like now was the right time to fess up, and Lexi accusing Onya of playing games because she ignored Lexi the first time and still, at this point in the conversation, hasn't apologized. And this escalates into a little bit of a yelling match with Lexi demanding that Onya fess up and own what happened, where we eventually get a yelled response from Onya saying, "I'm owning it now." The girls were fighting! The girls really were fighting here. Thankfully, though, everyone's in a better mood when they enter the workroom the next day, and Lexi, Arrietty, and Onya all exchange some pleasantries and apologies about what transpired. And this honestly was really crazy to watch play out in the episode. I was just sitting there with my mouth agape in bewilderment that this was actually happening. And obviously, it was really nice to see them all kiss and make up the next day, but it was truly crazy to watch this play out, especially with it being Onya's second time sabotaging another queen's outfit during a design challenge. I will say though, to Onya's credit, Lexi came into that workroom hot and heavy, and I'm not sure if I would have been ready to tell her what I had done at that point either. And I will also point out that not only did Onya withhold this information at first, but Arrietty did too, because she was out there when Lexi originally discovered what had happened. And she said nothing. Kumbaya this, kumbaya that, these girls better kumbaya watch their backs. And y'all know I live for the drama, as long as it's not in the kitchen. Because the last thing I want to do after a long day of filming is toil away in front of the stove, or worse, overspend on eating out. Hey Bussy, guess what? What? Unity is here to save the day! Yay! Wait. What's that? Unity is a chef-to-consumer meal service delivering fresh, never-frozen, restaurant-quality meals directly to your doorstep. And the gag of the season is they've got over 300 meals to choose from with options for every dietary preference. And every meal is cooked in small batches using locally sourced produce and responsibly raised meats. Some of my favorites in my recent delivery include Chef David Aiden's Shrimp Scampi Linguine, Chef Maribel Rivero's Grilled Chicken Fajita Tacos, and Chef Chris Rattel's Gingery Salmon Cakes. And unlike other ready-to-eat meals meal services, Cook Unity meals actually fill me up with adult-sized portions. And with Cook Unity, I can have anything from Thai green curry chicken to Nikki chicken soba noodles ready in just 2 to 3 minutes at like half the cost of eating out. So what are you waiting for? Use my link below to try Cook Unity today and get 50% off your first order of chef-made meals delivered directly to your doorstep. Thanks Cook Unity for sponsoring today's video. And now let's dive into the looks. First up, and in the order they hit the runway, it's Crystal Envy, who in our swimwear category is giving us a bit of a twofer. First, serving us new age Barbie all dressed up, which reveals to a recreation of the original Barbie look. Hi Barbie. I think the swimwear is cute, fits her well, and is a great reference. Plus the camp factor of her pulling out those poodle bangs and attaching them to her wig while she's walking down the runway was an absolute gag. The only thing she maybe could have done better for this runway would have been to have taken this reference and twisted it up into her own personal style just a little bit so it was giving a nod and wasn't a direct recreation. This look was still hot. And over in the sea creature category, I'll be honest, I struggled with this one for the first half of the runway before it was inflated because it looks a little dumpy. There's a lot of fabric, there's spikes everywhere. She's got the puffer earrings, the puffer dress, the puffer shoes, the puffer wig, which was sickening. And it wasn't gagging until she turned those fans on and they fully inflated the midsection of the outfit. Because once that happened and I saw that full shape from the air inside of it, I was gagged. I was there for it. This look is hot. And as for the Sea Sickening Eleganza Crystal created there in the workroom, she comes out in this really pretty pink and yellow striped gown with a cute little mermaid skirt that she can barely walk in because the material is, as we learned in the workroom earlier in this episode, not very stretchy. And so she had to sew and cut a pretty exact fit of this dress to even achieve what she's done here. This dress is girly, frilly, pretty, elegant, and overall, I think very impressive considering she created it from unconventional materials. And I also like how the colors are summery in keeping with that beachwear theme, and it has stripes similar to what she wore in the swimwear category. This look was shore-stoppingly hot. And next up, she is eating at the trough. It's Jules Sparkles, who in the swimwear category says she is feeling her 80s Latina Miami fantasy in this bombshell blonde in gold head to toe. And as a concept, I really love this look and how she's played with the bulky giant gold chains on her dainty little hot body. What I didn't love though was I feel it was a little overly simplistic and the gold chains are doing a lot of the stylistic work. The actual bikini outfit of this swimwear to me is just a little boring. And I really don't like how in her midsection she's got so many lines breaking up her silhouette. There's just too much going on in there, so I'm gonna give this a but her sea creature look is absolutely fantastic. She's giving us a take on the Spanish dancer Slug, which has this really beautiful white, orange, and red ombre coloring on it naturally that she has captured beautifully in this gown. I love how the fabric within all of this frilly organza around her has created this tiny little hourglass shape in the front, and she is absolutely just swimming down that runway and working every fin on this dress. So I'm gonna give this look a hot. But if y'all thought the sea slug was sickening, take a look at this. In her final look, Jules is evoking this oil spill fantasy eleganza with an explosion of black tarp that's fanned out asymmetrically on different parts of the garment. And I absolutely adore how she has played with black and red colors on this look, giving it a real edge and darkness that I honestly didn't expect from a queen like Jules. She's gonna give me Black Widow Spider, but make it ocean fish. And I was surprised considering how cool this look was that it didn't land her in the top. But personally, I think she absolutely krilled it. This look is hot. And next up, it's Lydia B. Kollins, who in the swimwear category is giving us swimwear with a little extra sea cucumber on the side, back, and front, if you know what I'm saying. She has this idea of including a festive lump with a gold tassel multiple times throughout the look. And once she explained what exactly that was supposed to be, I was laughing and enjoying what I was looking at, but I won't lie, I was confused at first and was kind of getting like Stegosaurus with the spikes on the front instead of the back. And I also really did not like how she just brought out a plain white towel as a prop. Like that was just so not needed. I will give her credit for being really original in this category, but I didn't love the final execution of the garment, so I'm gonna give it a And for Miss Lydia's sea creature look, she is serving us some anglerfish eleganza, where she is actually the jockey of an anglerfish that she's riding down the runway, which was another look that when she hit the runway, I had no idea what I was looking at. But yes, once we got closer and she explained that the 17 was like her jockey number, and I could see the legs of what was supposed to be her body on the side of the fish, I was like, okay, this is all really interesting, creative, and cool. But I'm still gonna give this like a robot because without her explanation of what was going on, I just don't think I ever would have got to that point, and it is visually messy. And for Lydia's final look, she says she is serving us robot high fashion eleganza, which is interesting on 2 levels, both I think in idea and execution, and also in the fact that she directly calls this robot eleganza and not sea sickening eleganza. Because I really am still questioning whether or not this achieved the sea sickening brief at all, or if it was just a look she created from unconventional materials that happens to be from the ocean. Category of the brief aside though, I think this is actually one of her better looks. It tells a more cohesive story and has some really interesting components with all those silver tubings coming down around her body and flowing behind her like a train. You know what though? I think I just realized what she was doing for this runway. I think this is supposed to be like those pool cleaner robots that sit in the bottom with the tubes and suck out all the dirt, but for the ocean, period. Lydia, I'm gonna give this look a safe hot. And the next queen making waves on the runway is Sam Starr, who for the swimwear category is giving us that 50s nuclear housewife fantasy in her eensy teensy weensy yellow polka dot dress, which tears away to an eensy teensy weensy yellow polka dot bikini. And these 2 looks that she has done here are absolute classics. And I think she looks elegant and beautiful in these looks, if a bit simple, but elegant and beautiful nonetheless. And sure, maybe Sam could have done a spicier concept or a crazier look for this category, but it was done well, and I'm gonna give this look a hot. And in the sea creature category, she is serving us viperfish in one of my favorites from the night. This look is so cool because we've seen plenty of deconstructed hoop skirts on Drag Race, but never have we seen a deconstructed hoop skirt made of chains, spikes, and silver metals. And then the headpiece of this look, I think, is the real star of the show because she's got all these razor sharp silver teeth on the top and bottom of her face, evoking that fantasy of the viperfish mouth. Consider me shell-shocked. This look is hot. And as for Sam's final Sea Sickening Eleganza look, I think my opinion here might be a little controversial because I wasn't living for this look as much as the judges were. She comes out and is giving us a gown made of trash bags, but a gown made of trash bags in a very obvious way, which to me just didn't read very chic or elegant, especially with the midsection of this look just looking so unfinished. I will say the shape and size of the garment she's created is impressive and the silhouette is strong, but I really do not like looking at a bunch of inflated trash bags to create the bottom part of a gown. Instead, I maybe would have liked to have seen her transform those bags in some way, maybe cutting them, twisting them, stretching them out, and then maybe attaching them in a very dense way to a gown base to hide the fact that the material is indeed trash bag plastic. For her ambition here, I would give this look a safe hot, but I definitely would not put her in the top. And next up, feeling bothered? Some queens are. It's Onya and Arrietty, who in her swimwear look is ready for the white party, giving us a kind of like socialite, real housewife, hanging out at the cabana at the pool resort vibe. I like this rich lady fantasy she's evoking here with the pearls on her neck, wrists, and on the hem of this mesh cover-up she's wearing over her swimsuit. And while this look probably isn't gonna keep me up at night, I'm never gonna think about it again after this episode, I would give it a safe hot. But her sea creature look is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. I loved this. She's giving us African sea star, and the colors of this sea star are naturally a white and red and orangey color, which she has captured beautifully in these like upside down heart-shaped pants. And there's even included little starfish spine details on her shoe. I love her red hair in this. I love her in this. I think everything about this look is absolutely sickening and beautiful. And this is probably one of my favorite Onya looks so far. I'm gonna give this look a hot. And as for her final look, she is giving us some apocalyptic sea sickening couture for our nerves, which she has created using ropes, loofahs, terry cloth, and artificial leaves. Oh, and of course, how could we forget the brown spray paint? And honestly, I'm not really sure exactly what it is she was going for here with this. It's kind of giving like a cockroach bug. It's kind of giving crawling out of the nuclear apocalypse, and it's also kind of giving like swampy marshes. And I would say this has an interesting shape and decent movement, but it doesn't really feel like a garment, more so than a collection of strips and items. But she does look good in this. I just feel like it's kind of not finished. So I'm gonna leave this look with a warming up. And next up, are you ready? It's Arrietty, who in the swimwear category gagged me a little bit for sure, and then some. She comes out looking like an Avatar character meets the Matrix. And this look is, let's just say it now, easily one of the best looks of the entire ball, and obviously the best look in the swimwear category. Like, no one else even holds a fin to what Arrietty is doing in this category. I love all those visual design elements of this look, playing with this swoopy shape that you see in the glasses, in the hair, and then on other pieces of the garment as well. Consider me seduced. This look is hot. But if y'all thought that was good, get ready because it gets better. Her sea creature look is an homage to the lionfish, which is just breathtaking on this runway. She says she has airbrushed this gown from head to toe to create these lionfish stripes, and notably also changed her makeup from the blue makeup to lionfish makeup in I don't know how much time, but usually I don't think they give the girls that much time between these looks, and it's impressive that she did that. And this look is not just colored and airbrushed to look like a lionfish, but also has tons of great little details like rhinestones all over to give it some sparkle and shine. And she is of course just absolutely frilling and floating and swimming in this organza meant to be the fins of the fish. Girl, it was giving real fish. It was giving fish realness. This look is hot. And then her final Sea Sickening Eleganza look, she is giving us Jellyfish Warrior, she says. The look created from yoga mats, bottle caps, and all this really cool orange coral detailing like on her glasses that she's apparently created from hot glue and wire. Her mind. And I've also got to point out that again, she completely changed her makeup, this time doing her standard Arrietty face, but with, as Michelle has been asking, a little less white in the center. It's that signature Arrietty style, but a little scaled back, done solely for the reason, I'm sure, that Arrietty just wanted to show Michelle she was listening. But pretty nonetheless, and this look is super cool. Arrietty did a great job of transforming the unconventional marine debris materials, but also keeping some of them intact in a way, like the bottle caps, which are forming the bubbles on this look. This look is sophisticatedly hot. And next up, beep beep, it's Suzie Toot, who in the swimwear category says she is giving us Lucille Ball in male drag. So this look is supposed to be her in drag as Lucille, in drag as a guy. What I did like in this look was the orange wig and mustache. I think orange is absolutely her color and she should wear that more often. But beyond that, I don't really know what this is. I don't get this. I don't like this. I don't think it's sparkly or pretty or really interesting in like a fashiony way. And because she's used these muted colors in the outfit, it's kind of just giving prison. But I'm sure all the tutors will have plenty to say in her defense in the comments below, so sound off. This look for me though is a but her sea creature look is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love this coconut shell octopus interpretation because it's so campy and ridiculous, but all the details are chic in like an old school campy way. My favorite thing about this look is the wig and how it has little bang flips that look like octopus tentacles. And I think she's just done a really great job of both looking like the octopus and then also looking like she's in drag being captured and swallowed up by an octopus. This look is hot. But in her final look, Suzie decides to do a look paying homage to Amelia Earhart, lost at sea but finally found. I have to laugh. Like every week when she explains what the hell she's doing on the runway, I have to laugh. Unfortunately though, the look just doesn't work. She got these goggles on her head that's made of like a sweatband and maybe egg carton pieces, a skirt made of rubber rug pads, and then bottle caps adorning the bodice of the look. And the thing is, the shape and silhouette of what she's created is not bad, but I do feel the final effect of what she's presenting is very parts and piecey. And I was just looking for a little more cohesion between those different elements like the leather, the rug pads, the bottle caps, because as it was presented, it was a little bit giving I threw some glue on myself and rolled around in the trash pile. But make it Amelia Earhart. In this look, Suzie floundered, so I'm gonna give it a rat. And next up it's Kori King, who in her swimwear is giving dun 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 dun. Watch out, it's Left Shark. Miss Kori is here, yes, giving a reference to the viral meme Left Shark from Katy Perry's 2015 Super Bowl halftime performance, where Left Shark went viral for not being as enthusiastic as his right shark counterpart. And then at the end of the runway, the shark costume comes off and out pops Kori in a recreation of the Katy Perry beach ball look from that same show. And I would have given this a safe hot if it were not for the shoes, because oh my god, what are those shoes doing with this outfit? We have seen these silver lacy open-toed booties I don't know how many times now in this competition, and this is absolutely the worst example of these shoes just not working with what she's wearing. Like seriously, what are those? And mostly because of the shoes, I'm gonna give this look a soft rat. And for a sea creature look, Kori's serving us mandarin fish realness, which you will notice immediately here also that she is wearing the same shoes again, which also don't work with this look. And look, the thing is, I get that queens are gonna be re-wearing things like shoes on some of these drag race runways. But my qualm is it absolutely cannot be this open-toed, lacy booty, silver chrome thing that sticks out like a sore thumb and belongs in a club in 2012 playing Pitbull. She got red on that one. Anyways, other than the shoes and the hair in this case, this outfit's actually really cool. I love the multicolored blue and orange and how those rhinestones and sequins are playing with the light. And I'm gonna give this look, accessories aside, a safe hot. And as for Kori's final look, she is giving us orange rope Princess Eleganza. And this look certainly isn't the worst thing on stage, but she is here kind of falling victim to the Drag Race textbook definition of gluing to a corset. But the craziest thing about this look is, you guessed it, the shoes, which appear to be a pair of shoes identical to the ones she wore in the previous 2 runways, but in orange. And I don't know if she just happened to have 2 different colors of the same shoe, or if she somehow painted the silver pair. And honestly, I don't want to know the answer to that, but I'm gonna give this look a And next up, in case you forgot, it's Acacia Forgot, who in the swimwear category is giving us beach ball realness with a bathing suit made of a stretch vinyl material meant to evoke those primary colors of beach balls. And more than the swimsuit she made, I really loved how she accessorized this look with the little floaties around her arms, then that cute little swim cap with the wig coming out the back. And it's not often that my personal taste and Acacia's style lines up, but this was a great instance of that, and I think she looks great in this look. I'm gonna give it a hot. And for the sea creature category, Acacia's doing an animal called the feather star, which I found out after doing some Googling is a crinoid and not a plant and also not a fish. And Miss Acacia's feather star interpretation definitely evokes feather star. Like, I see those little feathery tendrils all over her look, looking just like the picture. And the best part of this look is probably the headpiece, but the rest of it is kind of messy. There's like a lumpiness to the top and bottom part that I just don't think are overcome by the prettiness of the red feathers. So I'm gonna give this look a rock. And for her final look, I hope you've got the TV guide ready because she gets all the channels in this look. She comes out in this look that is made of blue felt, blue tarp, and then this silver like aluminum material that she's cut in fins to accessorize the look. But I'll be honest, I don't really like this look. I think the exposed blue felt and blue tarp are a little too found object and weren't transformed enough. And I also think that step down shape of the gown in the back is just awkward with that tarp material. But what I do really love about this look is the confidence that she walks it in. Because we actually hear in a confessional during the workroom segment where she's calling everyone else's look ugly except for hers. Hi, ugly. What I will absolutely compliment Acacia on here was the ambition in creating a really intricate looking garment. But a successful one it was not, so I'm gonna give this look a rock. And next up, it's Lexi Love, who in the swimwear category is adorning a censored bar across her chest, and then the most fabulous merkin I think we'll ever see. And after a sea of average swimwear looks, this was, I think, really refreshing because the concept is at least a little bit more elevated than I'm just wearing a swimsuit. But we also have seen this censor bar concept before from queens like Valentina, who did the black bars across the top and bottom. But Lexi really did take that top bar a step further by writing out the word in rhinestones and including those beige pixel panels around it to look like it was blurring her skin tone. And of course the merkin is, I think, really original here on Drag Race. I love how she's perfectly styled it in that nether region and has also decorated it with red rhinestones that are supposed to be crabs. I do think this look is hot, but I do want to point out the category is swimwear, and she's kind of wearing nothing at all. So, did she meet the brief? Subscribers, you decide. And the sea creature she's chosen to represent on the runway is the purple stinger jellyfish, which I think she's done in some really beautiful layers, like with that orange rhinestone body stocking and all the purple little tentacles flowing around her. And of course, in case you forgot, she's also got a jellyfish headpiece on her head because why not? This look is really chic. I love the way it flows, and the colors she used are absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna give this look a hot. And for her final look, Lexi is giving us Woman of the Ocean with a tarp spray painted to look just like it. And interestingly, for as big and larger than life as this look is, it's probably one of the more simpler looks when it comes down to the details, because it kind of looks like she just cut a hole in part of the tarp and stuck her head through it and called it fashion. And while she did do that, I will say, I think that it takes a certain level of skill and talent to decide where exactly to make such a cut in a tarp. And the way it drapes across her body is absolutely perfect, and I think it is such a beautiful statement piece with the way she's painted it. Overall, I enjoyed this look and I thought the presentation was great. I'm gonna give it a hot, but I will also say not everyone could have done a look like this. Us average sized people with a tarp thrown over our bodies are just gonna look like people with tarps thrown over our bodies, while people like Lexi can look like supermodels. But if you got it, flaunt it. And next up, paint a picture. It'll last longer. It's Hormona Lisa, who in the swimwear category is giving us pretty in pink, as usual, but with a bubble gun. But let me just say bubblegum aside, I think this is actually one of the cuter swimsuits of the night, and she looks really adorable in it with her little swim cap. And like, sure, did she need a little more volume or hair or something to proportionize that bit of the look? Maybe, but this swimsuit was successful and I'm gonna give it a hot. And for Hormona Sea Creature look, she's giving us the leafy sea dragon, here proving she's the absolute queen of re-wearing a silhouette and hair. And I will say, generally speaking, in drag, knowing what looks good on you and having a signature dress style or hair is not a bad thing. But for the RuPaul's Drag Race runway, where the judges are explicitly asking the contestants to showcase their versatility on the main stage, it does get a little bit dull to just see the same thing from one of the contestants every single week. This dress is that orange dress, is that pink dress, is basically also the quilted dress. This is the same Hormona every single week, and it is, in the context of Drag Race, a little boring. But it is pretty, so I'm gonna give it a safe. And in the final Sea Sickening Eleganza category, she's giving us one of the shortest cut dresses that she's worn on Drag Race, made of umbrella, bags, and bubble wrap, adorned with trash bag bows across the chest. And this is, like all of Hormona's stuff, cutesy and pretty, but does fail to take a risk or do anything more than sit in her safe zone. Where the craziest thing she's doing here is like showing a little more leg than usual. So I'm gonna give this look a and lastly, I'm not wearing any, it's Lana, who in the swimwear category comes out in a bikini. And that's about all I can really say for this look in this category. This is Lana in a bikini. And yes, she looks really pretty. Her body looks amazing. It's just got a great little walk showing off this bikini. But like, where is the concept? Where is the drag? Where is the nod to this sea sickening ball that the queens are supposed to be doing? This look is the definition of stop relying on that body, because that is all she did here. So I'm gonna give it a soft rot. And concerning her sea creature look, she's doing the purple sea urchin, which is all black and purple and very severe, visually speaking, with all these spikes on the shoulders, on the train of the skirt, and on her hips. And this look has two main parts. There's the body stocking and then also like a skirt that zips in the front, which I noticed because it was bunching up really awkwardly as she was coming down the runway before she tears it away. I think this was a mistake to create this look in two different pieces. It probably would have been stronger had she had it all been one cohesive garment, both because of the way it was fitting and also because when she loses the train, it loses a lot of the purple and also like half of her spikes. I really didn't have a major issue with this look though, and I do like this look. It just wasn't a standout, so I'm gonna give it a safe. And lastly, for Sea Sickening Eleganza, she says she's giving us bad bitch fish in a look made from an old pair of jeans, some netting, aluminum foil, and blue plastic, and hopes to achieve something creature-like. And here's the thing, this look is a lot of parts and pieces, and its incohesiveness is, I think, the reason it doesn't work. It's really hard to focus on what's going on here, and there's also just no structure or lines built into this look. But what I think Lana really deserves credit for is transforming those marine debris into unrecognizable pieces of her garment. But she also didn't make a piece of sea sickening fashion at the end of it all, so I'm gonna give this a which brings us to our placements. And in the top this week, we got Arrietty, Samstar, and Crystal Envy, with the win ultimately going to Arrietty. And Arrietty winning this ball, I think, is undebatable for the first time in ball history. Like, there is nobody else that stepped up to the plate in all three runway categories like Arrietty did tonight. She absolutely ate this up. She was a little piggy at the trough here. And she ate. But I will contest the positions of the other two top placements here, which I think have room for debate. So I was kind of surprised not to see Jewel Sparkle in the top because her final look was so amazing. And like, yeah, her first swimwear look wasn't the best, but I thought her final look made up for it. And as y'all know, I wasn't a big fan of Samstar's final runway, so I probably would have just swapped those two and called it a day. The bottom two for this episode are equally as surprising as they are not, because we've got Lana and Hormona Lisa. And Lana being in the bottom there does make a lot of sense considering her looks, but Hormona was really just kind of guilty of being boring in the ball. But I thought there were queens who presented overall worse looks across the three categories. And in Hormona's place, I would have swapped in either Acacia, Lydia B. Kollins, or Kori King. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. And so we've got Hormona Lisa versus Lana in the bottom two lip sync to an Olivia Rodrigo song. And honestly, I think this is probably one of my least favorite lip syncs of the season so far. And part of that is because I think this is a weird song to lip sync. It just doesn't have that power or gusto like a lot of good lip sync songs do, although it is a good song and I do like Olivia. I think it was just hard for these queens to pull the power out of it. Lana, though, I think clearly bested Hormona here, both knowing the lyrics better and serving a better fantasy to the vibe of the track. And I was enjoying all the sexy rolling around the stage that she was doing by the end of it. And so we say goodbye to Hormona here, which feels kind of weird, again, because I don't really think she should have been in the bottom given the looks everyone presented. But I do understand the judges challenging her and wanting to serve something different and her not delivering on that. But of course, I'd love to know what y'all thought about everything down in the comments below. As for hottest tots, in the swimwear category, I'm gonna give it to Arrietty. In the sea creature category, Arrietty. And in the Sea Sickening Eleganza category, Jules Sparkles. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and this week they've chosen Arrietty and Arrietty and Arrietty, respectively. And don't forget, I've partnered with Cookmunity to get you 50% off your first order of chef-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. Just use my link below and enter code BussyQueen50 at checkout so you can eat good every single day. And lastly, I want to give an extra special shout out to Galen Roberts, who's just joined my Patreon at the hot tier, and Ashton, Felicia, Laura, Matthew Burns, Miko means music and makeup records, Sexy Winnie the Blue, and Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen collections here at patreon.com. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye. Y'all want to see something crazy? Oh my god, I can see again. Ah, wow. That was disorienting.